And Channel 4's Regina Riculi is joining us now from the Legislative Plaza with the very latest developments. Good morning, Regina.
Good morning. Well, some Occupy Nashville protesters are still here in the area, but they've left outside the steps of Legislative Plaza. In just the past few minutes, state troopers have backed away. They're now allowing the public to go through this area. But we want to tell you what's happening now at the Metro Jail. We're told a judge there says he is not going to charge the 25 protesters who are at the jail at this time. He is holding them until he speaks with THP officials. Now, overnight emotions have been very high out here at Legislative Plaza. About 100 troopers showed up around 3 a.m. and this is what happened.
The world is watching. The whole world is watching. The whole world is
You're red, sir. You're on the red.
About 25 people were arrested, 50 walked away peacefully. Many say they didn't have time to pick up their tents, food, belongings that they have accumulated over the past 3 weeks as Occupy groups have been on Legislative Plaza protesting Wall Street and what they call corporate greed. Last night, state officials told Occupy Nashville protesters there was a curfew on the plaza from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. because of issues with protesters, but many of them didn't budge. They wouldn't leave the scene. Minutes after the arrest, some protesters told us they were shocked state officials actually followed through.
I was just falling asleep when I heard people shouting, "Heads up, heads up." I got out of the tent and saw that there was a line of police officers, state troopers, all around us. At that point, I really rapidly tried to get all of our things together and get all of the belongings of our friends together.
They weren't able to take any of the belongings. They didn't have time. 30 people who were taken to the Metro Jail were taken on buses as fellow protesters peacefully stood by. Troopers did go through tents on Legislative Plaza to make sure they got all the protesters off of the premises. Tents and belongings that the protesters own are still here at the scene. We spoke with some of the protesters. They say they're not sure when they'll be able to get those belongings back now, despite the fact they were kicked out. Protesters here at the scene say they don't plan on leaving. They plan to meet later today and find out a new game plan. We'll be following this story throughout the day, live at Legislative Plaza. I'm Regina Riculi at Channel 4 News Today.
All right, so you're saying the very latest with the camps, nothing's happened with that. I wanted to quickly mention again, a lot of people asking this question. They're emailing us, Facebooking us, saying, well, what happened that changed everything that they would feel that the authorities would come in at 3 a.m. overnight to say, okay, here's your 10 minutes, get out or you're arrested?
Well, protesters out here were shocked. They don't know why, and we haven't been given a reason for that either, Holly. Surely THP has a reason and had that deadline in plan. They obviously had a plan in place when those troopers lined up, but they have not released that information as to why they chose 3 a.m. We expect to hear more from the Tennessee Highway Patrol at 9 a.m. They said that's when they're going to be able to give us some more official word on what happened and why they did what they did.
All right, Channel 4's Regina Riculi have been bringing us updates throughout this morning as it was actually developing. Big breaking story this morning. Regina, thank you for that.
A lot of people at home waking up and watching this morning, logging onto our Facebook page and kind of sharing some of their comments as they see these pictures for the very first time. We're hearing from a number of people. Chris writes in, this is a sad day for democracy. Also, Janine writes in, this is simply unbelievable, exclamation point.